John Wesley said, "I look upon all the world as my parish." We in the Global Methodist Church are deeply committed to being a truly global church. However, at the moment, all we have are 2 bishops. And so Mark Webb and I have divided up the world. Well, it turns out that as I was looking at annual conference sessions that needed to be scheduled this spring, I realized, I might as well just start in the Philippines and move to the West and get them all done in one trip. Mary Lou, how long were we gone?
47 days. I gave up my home for Lent. I tried to give up worry too. It was easier to give up my home.
It started with conversations with the Korean Methodist Church in Seoul, then an annual conference in Manila, lectures in Indonesia for the Indonesian Methodist Church, back to the northern part of the Philippines for another annual conference, to the Middle East. We visited the Filipino churches that have been planted in Qatar and Abu Dhabi and Doha, and then to the convening conference in Kenya, then to Ethiopia, then to meet pastors from North Africa who are gathering in Dakar, Senegal. We are growing rapidly as congregations learn about this new expression of Methodist Christianity. They want to be a part of it. Some are coming out of the former United Methodist Church. Some are independent groups that are asking to be a part of us. It's an exciting time to be forming new conferences and new groupings of Methodists in these countries.
It's one of the reasons I'm so convinced that God is in this, is because there is a ferment around the world in Wesleyan traditional churches to be a part of a global church.
One of the most powerful times was at a refugee camp in northwest Kenya. 210,000 people from 21 countries, some of whom have been in this camp as refugees for 9, 10, 11 years. I dedicated a building that the church had built. It's a GMC church, they wanted their bishop to dedicate the building. It was a joy-filled celebration. Well, it's traditional in Africa that they give the preacher a gift. So I'm going down to the altar, waiting for the gift to be brought. A group of people are dragging something up the aisle. It turns out my gift that day was a live goat. I think another powerful time was in a much smaller group. We were training 9 pastors who are working in Muslim countries, the kinds of places where it's illegal to baptize a Muslim into Christianity. But their stories were powerful. In one case, they had baptized a Muslim boy. Somebody had filmed it on an iPhone, put it on the internet. The community reacted against it and forced the police to arrest the pastor. The Christians in his congregation said, "This is our opportunity for witness." So 19 of them went to the police station and said, "We were part of the baptism, arrest us too." But the jail only had room for 5. They overwhelmed the judicial system and led the authorities to say, we're dropping the charges for lack of evidence. God is at work in these places and bringing new people to Christ who are reading the Bible or hearing it preached, and they believe it. And if God did it in the book of Acts, why can't God do it now? And they're open and hungry and looking for it, and the preachers are leading them. It's just an exciting time to be a part of it. As a bishop, this was a personal journey. I've engaged with people from many different cultures and language groups. But as a bishop, it's also true that when I do this, other people pay attention. And so I want all of the Global Methodist people to have this kind of international, global focus.
We have a story to tell to the nations. And quite frankly, we need to get out there and tell it. I'm becoming less and less, as I age, filtered with who I speak to about it. I maybe used to be like this. Now I'm like, have you heard? Do you know? Have you seen?
One thing uniting Global Methodist people around the globe is a commitment to evangelism, church planting, and transforming lives to make it more like the kingdom of God. I saw that everywhere we went on this trip. I see that here in all of our conferences in the United States. It's a movement. God's at work. I'm just privileged to be a part of it.